We'll quickly sing the Mangalacharan prayers and after that we'll start. Today is a very important section. It talks about how to overcome our lower modes. It discusses about it.
How to overcome what?
Lower modes of nature. Yes. Okay. We'll quickly sing the Mangalacharan. Everybody is able to see? You have the books, no? Okay. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं त्वं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Thank you for coming during the weekday time. So we'll quickly revise whatever we did. So first chapter we completed the observing the army, and the second chapter is contents of the Gita summarized, and the acronym that we kept was DRESS, just for easy understanding. The first section was about disciple, right? We discussed about disciple guru relationship. Then R stands for rebirth. We discussed that how the body keeps changing, but the spirit soul remains the same, right? As we change garments every morning, every evening, as we change dress, similarly the body is also changing, right? And then E was for engage in your duty. As I was talking to Chaitanya Chand Prabhu, he said keep E as external duty because that's the external duty. So apara dharma. So E is external duty, and S was Sankhya Yoga, right? Sanatana Dharma. What is the highest dharma then? Because apara dharma and then para dharma. What is the highest dharma? And finally, the last S that we are entire discussing right now is who is a Sthita Pragya. How does Sthita Pragya looks, right? And that is here, correct? Spiritual person. And questions are Ka Bhasha. What are his general symptoms? How does he speak? How he takes care? How does he handles good and bad? The dualities in the nature. We discussed it already in last session. Today's session will be discussing how does he sit. Basically, it means that how does he restrain his senses from the sense objects. 58 to 63. So today's section is very, very important because there are very important verses. 59th verse is very important, and 62 and 63. These three verses are extremely important. 59, 62 and 63. Everything else, I would say, revolves around these three verses. And it's a very nice flow. But we'll start from 58th verse. Okay. Yeah, 58. We are on page number 124 for the big book, and for the small book
144. It's 144.
144. No, I think it will be even more smaller. The one that Apurva Mataji has.
158.
258. 2.58. Everybody there? If you're feeling, I'm feeling that. Okay. So how we do is, as we discussed earlier, every verse, most of the verse in Bhagavad Gita is known as Anushtup. So it is divided into 4 quadrants, 32 syllables, exactly 32 syllables. So what we do is, we read one quadrant and you repeat. Then second quadrant, you repeat. Third quadrant, then you repeat. Fourth quadrant. And then we'll go ahead. Okay. So 58th verse. Everybody is there? Yada samarete chayam.
Yada samarete chayam.
You got?
I guess we have one. It is
Okay.
258.
So for both the books it is different.
No, both are different. So for you, you just go to 124.
Yeah.
You got it. And you,
Do you have the paperback?
paperback.
Yeah.
118.
118, right. Yeah.
Okay. Yada samarate chayam.
Yada samarate chayam.
Kurmo Kurmonganiva sarvashah.
Kurmonganiva sarvashah.
Indriyani indriyatebhyas.
Indriyani indriyatebhyas.
Tasya pragya pratishtita.
Tasya pragya pratishtita.
Okay, so just by seeing the Sanskrit, you will get some idea. Kurma. Kurma is,
Tortoise.
this verse is talking about tortoise. We will see why. Okay, tortoise. Interesting. Then Indriyani indriyatebhyas. Indriya means
All
Senses.
senses, right? So talking about tortoise, talking about senses, right? And pragya pratishtita. We already discussed Citta pragya. So looks like something related to tortoise, senses, and fully situated. Okay, we'll see what it means. Okay, translation. Who wants to read translation? Someone can volunteer to read translation.
I'll read.
Hmm.
One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as a tortoise draws its limbs within its shell, is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness.
Firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. So tortoise, whenever it sees danger, what it does is it immediately takes all the limbs inside like this. This photo I finally got it. The entire head is inside his box. In earlier times, when fighters used to, warriors used to fight, they used to have a sword and like that. This shell was there, right? The shell was like this only. It was made like this to protect themselves, right? So immediately someone is hiding. In India also, when Holi is there, Vrindavan, something like this only. Maybe they are using this shell in Vrindavan. Okay, Latmar Holi it's called, if in case.
But fun.
Yeah. So we'll discuss more. Purport. Who wants to read?
Yeah, I can read.
Yeah, go ahead.
The test of a yogi, devotee, or self-realized soul is that he is able to control the senses according to his plan. Most people, however, are servants of the senses and are thus directed by the dictation of the senses. That is the answer to the question as to how the yogi is situated. The senses are compared to venomous serpents. They want to act very loosely and without restriction. The yogi or the devotee must be very strong to control the serpents, like a snake charmer. He never allows them to act independently. There are many injunctions in the revealed scriptures. Some of them are do nots and some of them are do's. Unless one is able to follow the do's and the do nots, restricting oneself from sense enjoyment, it is not possible to be firmly fixed in the Krishna consciousness. The best example set herein is the tortoise. The tortoise can at any moment wind up its senses and exhibit them again at any time for particular purposes. Similarly, the senses of Krishna conscious persons are used only for some particular purpose in the service of the Lord and are withdrawn otherwise.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Because the next will reveal what is in the next words.
Okay.
Okay. So what here is Krishna saying is that a yogi, a true yogi, what is the test of a yogi is when he is able to understand when to restrict his senses and when to let his senses out. Right? If we put our senses out to anything and everything, then there can be danger. Right? Like for example, we are sitting on YouTube, let's say, and one video we see, we engage our senses. Okay, this video is nice. Something else, immediately YouTube will show something else. Then okay, this is nice. It goes and on and on and on, and we are letting loose our senses. Yesterday, when I was reading this verse 58, after immediately that, I went to gas station to fill up the gas. And when I filled the gas and I lift, when it was immediately the gas pipe went inside. And I said, yeah, the senses has imagine the pipe is outside there only, right? What will happen? It can be real danger. Similarly, our senses, we need to know when it has to be controlled and when it has to be engaged, right? And see, a yogi, he knows to control the senses according to his plan. Based, what it means is based on the scriptures. He knows when to let it loose in the sense that when it needs to be engaged and when it should be restricted. Right? Someone asks us in the Friday evening, let's go to a bar, ka maja ho jaye, right? Let's do some fun. But we need to know that when to restrict our senses. Say no. Better. I remember when I was just starting our Krishna conscious journey. So most of my friends were clear-cut. Once you come in USA, you feel like everything you can do. So initially, when we came to Krishna, when earlier we used to go with them and all, but then when we started reading more about Bhagavad Gita and everything, we started reading, and then when they started calling us, we made a firm decision that we will not go because it is very dangerous. We might feel that we will not drink anything. We'll just be there. We'll not do anything, right? But the senses are very, very strong. We'll see in 62, 63 verse what just focusing on, just spending little bit of time on a sense object. Sense object means that which engages the senses. Like for example, YouTube. That's a sense object. Little bit also giving let loose, it can be a real danger. Similarly, drinking also, right? Imagine, people drink so much, or new word is that casual drinker, right? But the taste is bad, the smell is bad, right? Still, why? Because sense objects, senses are very, very strong, very, very strong. So that's what Krishna is saying here, that one has to be able to restrict the senses. And the example is given is of tortoise. In Vedic scripture, there are a lot of examples which are given connected to animals. There is one next, let me show you this one. This is from Skanda or Garuda Puran. This verse, we are talking about senses and we are talking about animals, right? This verse comes. Kuranga matanga patanga bringa. Kuranga matanga patanga bringa. Meena hata pancha bhireva pancha. Meena hata pancha bhireva pancha. Eka pramadi sakatham sahanyate. Eka pramadi sakatham sahanyate. Yasevate pancha bhireva pancha. Yasevate pancha bhireva pancha. So which words you are able to connect? Pancha, hum panch. Right? Pancha. Kuranga is deer. Matanga is an elephant. Patanga is, you should say this. Yeah, moth, but very close. Bringa, honeybee. Oh, two options. So, why fish? How come? No, Meena is Meena Sharira. Meena, fish. These 5 animals are indicating how they succumb to death because of letting loose one of their senses. Deer, he enjoys or she enjoys listening to music. So whenever the hunter, the way deer is killed is some melodious music is played and deer runs around that music. Otherwise, deer is very, very fast. But because of that music, deer, just comes near and then is a target. Why? Because he is letting loose his senses to some music. He knows also, seeing other deer, he knows that, there is danger. But the sense object is so strong, the senses are so strong. So scripture is saying, like deer, our senses are very strong. Then next example is of elephant. Now elephant is very huge. How to control the elephant? So what they do is, they bring a she elephant. After he sees a she, right? So there's problem there, right? So they bring a she elephant, and what they do is, they put some kind of well on top of well. They put like a grass or something, and the he elephant comes near the she elephant, and then he falls into the ditch or whatever well. Right? He wanted to do Valentine's Day, but he fell into time. Valentine's Day, right? In time. He fell into the well in time. Right? So this is she elephant. Third is patanga, moth. If you see moth, wherever there is fire, the moth is moth will always be there. She knows seeing the other also that there is danger, but still it will enter. Why? Because his eyes. So this is deer, this is genitals, this is eyes. Eyes, he sees because that is so much jagmag, that lighting is there from the fire. Moth enters the fire and killed. Right. Next is bee. Bee goes inside the flower to smell. Nice, right? Cake or something. So like this, for them it is flower. And he's trying to smell the flower till the end of the night, and the night closes. And when he opens in the morning, the bee is dead. Again, why? Because not able to control the sense of smell. And finally, fish. So much food is there down, so much plants and all, but still, when it comes from up, right? So it tries to that taste. So tongue, fifth is tongue remaining. Right? When it goes, then it goes up to the water level, and then gets attacked by the fishermen. Right? Then it says eka pramadi. Eka means one. Right? Eka pramadi sa katham na hanyate. So just one sense, when they let loose, they get killed. And human beings are letting loose all their five senses. So it says, imagine what will happen. Right? Imagine what will happen. Right? Everywhere, if you see movies, right? We go to theater, then we think that we are only there inside. Correct? So see, that's why theater, if you see, it's always in dark. We see, because you have to be put in illusion to watch that. Right? So then taste also, right? Taste. You see, drinking, there's no taste still, and then they know also that cigarette, alcohol, all these are injurious to health. It's mentioned there also, but still the taste is so strong, can't control, right? Then ears, every way the senses are very, very strong. So that's this verse says that what to say of human beings. So one has to. That's why one needs to know how to control the senses, when to control the senses. When you're in temple, you can get loose at senses in terms of dancing, singing, serving. But when you are in association of certain people which will degrade your consciousness, you better restrict your senses. You will see maybe in some future videos, small entrance giving to sense object can lead to danger. Okay, so for 59th, I'll give you a scenario. If you're able to answer my question, after the scenario there will be a question. If you're able to answer that question, then you will understand the 59th verse. Otherwise, we will not be able to move forward. Okay. So 58th verse talks about a true yogi is the one who is able to control the senses, right? Control the senses. There's one thing which I saw, which I wanted to talk about. Servants. Yeah, servant of the senses. You know what is the Sanskrit meaning of servant of the senses? Who said that? Yeah, Godas. Servant of the senses means Godas. Then master of the senses means Goswami. Right? That's why some of the Swamis are known as Goswami. Why? Because master of the senses. But our situation is Godas. Yeah, surname is also Goswami. Yeah, some people surname also Goswami. But anyways, Godas means one who is servant of the senses, right? And that's why we should take shelter of Krishna, because Krishna's other name is Govind and Rishikesh. Rishikesh means one who is the master of the senses. Anyways, now we'll give you a scenario. So now imagine we talk about controlling the senses, right? So imagine I love pizza. I love pizza so much that I eat 3 times a day. Pizza. Okay. So 3 times a day I eat pizza. But what happened is eating so much pizza. One day I got sick. Okay. I got sick, and then in the morning my wife Manjari, she again asked, so what? Pizza? Right? I said no pizza today. Make simple khichdi. You know khichdi? Rice and moong dal. Little watery. So now I am able to control my senses. Right? I am able to control my senses. So I am saying no to pizza. I am able to control my senses. So does it mean that I am firmly fixed in perfect consciousness? What do you think?
No.
No. Why?
You might slip away.
Yes, correct. Right? That is leads to 59. So Arjuna will ask that you are saying that fixed, but the senses are so strong. It is not easy. How can you say don't watch TV, don't watch TV? Right? What will you do? You have to do something, right? If I tell you close your eyes and don't think of red apple, you will think of red apple, right? Because the mind is such, right? So you are telling me don't do this, but it is not easy. So this leads to 59 verse. Krishna will say yes, it is not easy. So you have to look for a higher taste. 59. You can repeat. This is very, very important verse. Okay, this explains why this restricted in senses. Why ISKCON is made. ISKCON is not made to say that material world is bad. No, that is just one aspect. The main thing is to engage your senses for something higher. For something higher. That is. Oh, I didn't show this. No? So just quickly, Sita Pragya, many fixed. Withdraw the senses and object of senses. We will see what is object of senses. Then senses are like venomous snake, right? Unable to control the senses. We will see in the next one now. 59. Vishya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Let's read this again one more time. Please remember this verse if you can. Please. Vishya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Okay. This is the answer for whenever you are just questioned how these guys are able to not watch movies and still they look happy. They don't watch cricket, still they look happy. How they get so much time in reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, whatever. If you have any time, any question like this is the verse that will answer your question. Okay. Who wants to read the translation?
Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
He is fixed in consciousness. He is really fixed in consciousness when he gets something higher taste, right? Let's say you are what example should I give? Let's say something is given to you to eat, simple food, but then you get let's say something very, very
Mango.
Yeah, let's say mango, right? Maybe he likes. I was thinking of malai kofta. I love that. But I was thinking I should not say right? Something even higher. Then you will say the lower one. No, I don't like. But saying no will be difficult. But when you get something higher, right? Similarly, because devotees engage in something higher. See on the left hand side, if you see, there's a yogi. He's meditating, so trying to restrict his senses, right? But in the mind, he's thinking that. Oh, that I met that lady that other day, right? Or maybe the girl might be doing some meditation and thinking of a guy, right? So this is what this verse is saying. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from the sense enjoyment, but the taste for sense objects remains. So this is the same sort of still remains. But then it says, but ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste. But when he engages in something higher, engaging in senses, now he's not engaging in senses, meditating. But when he engages in senses, then he is fixed in consciousness. Then he will not be attached to the lower modes. Right? So when you are engaged in service, cooking in the temple, serving the Vaishnavas, chanting the holy names of the Lord, taking association of devotees, I told right, I was the reason why I was able to disconnect myself from those friends who were taking my consciousness lower was because I got a very bigger community in terms of ISKCON. Right? More than 300 devotees. I mean, amazing. I don't get time only now. so busy. Right? Why? Because you get something higher, and they lift also your consciousness. They lift your consciousness as well. So it is important. We should ask ourselves every day that whom we are taking association of, because the people whom we are taking association of, believe it or not, we will be like that only. That's the nature of association. Very, very strong. Right? So this verse says that one has to engage in something higher. Something higher.
Question.
So is there a contradiction where you get the higher taste entices you so much that you even out before Krishna Bhagavan even says that you should perform your duties, you get such a higher taste that you don't even feel like performing your duties?
Yeah, that is true. So that's why there is a situation where devotee might think that why should I work? I've got so much taste now. Why should I work? Right? But then we have to understand that actually this verse will come. If you want, I can show immediately now. It will come in. Yeah, go to 63rd verse. Actually, I was not supposed to show this now, but anyways, because he asked. You can blame him later on. Page number 130. For hardbound.
For softbound, it's 120.
Yeah, so this Srila Rupa Goswami had two kinds of Vairagya. One is called as Yukta Vairagya, and another one is known as Falgu Vairagya. Falgu means Faltu. Falgu, Faltu. Faltu means that renunciation which is Faltu, means which is false. And Yukta means you can think of it as perfect. Okay, so this verse that you are seeing in the purport, it talks about false renunciation, which he is talking about. Okay, so I'll read the verse, then we can discuss the purport. Okay, Rupa Goswami is mentioning this in Nectar of Devotion. Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastuna mumukshubhi parityago vairagyam falgu kathyate. And it is coming from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-256. What it means is that sometimes what happens is we give up everything. Nothing is needed. Like what do you call it in Nirvana? Nothing, right? That is known as Falgu Vairagya, means that is false renunciation. And Yukta Vairagya is one which means that we do everything but in connection with Krishna. So when your question was that we get so much taste that we give up everything and we just engage in Krishna consciousness, then we have to ask from seniors or from mentors or from spiritual master that what is my duty also. Why? Because that duty will become your spiritual duty. Might be going to office. I'll give you a simple example. Janardan Prabhu, Janandan. I got confused. The name is from J. What is it? Jainan Prabhu. Sorry, sometimes it's Jainan Prabhu. So most of the devotees who came to Krishna consciousness early time, ISKCON, they were all hippies. Hippies means rock and roll, drugs. This is hippies. So these were the people who used to come to Srila Prabhupada to understand Bhagavad Gita. There was one person whose name was Jayananda, and he was a cab driver. So as soon as he came to Krishna consciousness, it's not like he left his job. Why? Then what he used to do is whatever money he used to get from that driving of the cab, he used to use that money for cooking prasadam for the people who are coming. So we need to understand what is our duty at the level we are, and that duty will become our spiritual duty. Like for example, in case of Arjuna, Krishna did not tell him that Arjuna, now you go on the side, this is your bead bag, chant your 16 rounds, I'll do the fighting, don't worry. Right? He didn't say that. He said you have to fight. And that is not your external duty only, that is actually your spiritual duty also now. Because why? Because now Krishna has told him. And that is what 18th chapter at the end, Krishna will tell him, see, I have spoken to you entire Bhagavad Gita for 45 minutes. Entire Bhagavad Gita I spoke. Now you do what you want. He told that. And then Arjuna tells Krishna that Karishye Vachanam Tava. Whatever you have told, Vachanam Tava, I will do now. Karishye, I will do that only now. Right? So coming to Krishna consciousness doesn't mean that we leave everything. But coming to Krishna consciousness means that we do everything for Krishna. So for a devotee, matter does not matter. But matter matters when is it in connection with Krishna. You understood? Matter does not matter, but it matters when it is in connection with Krishna. So similarly, we have to see how we can connect everything to Krishna. And there are different ways. We use our body for cleaning. There is a verse that will come. I don't want to spill the beans too many. It will come. 61st verse. Very beautiful verse. We can use our body for cooking prasadam. Right? We can use our senses to to see the deities, our eyes to see the deities, right? Like Vaishali she likes to dress Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, right? So we can use our eyes to, we can use our body to dress the deities. Then we can use the money for ISKCON or for Krishna's spreading of Krishna consciousness, right? So many ways. So we have to see how we can do, but to the level that we are at. If we do something and then we are in anxiety, I gave my entire day, now I'm frustrated, my job is at risk. No, we do the thing that we can, right? So with that, yeah, one thing I want to tell you, thank you for reminding. So, Vishaya. In Sanskrit, there are two words, Vish and Vishaya. You know what is the difference between the two? Vish is venom, poison, right? Vishaya is sense objects. You know what is the difference between the two? Vish takes the soul away from the body, and Vishaya takes the soul away from Krishna. So, what is more dangerous? Second one. Second one is more dangerous. So it will take you away from Krishna. Sense objects are that strong. I didn't want to show you now, but since you are, see this video. So these guys, they were playing in the water. Water. We all like water, right? We go to ocean nearby, and that water comes to the feet. You will cold a little bit, right? Sense objects are like this only. Oh, little YouTube 2 minutes. Let's see it. But then we don't know how that little bit sense objects will take away our entire time. We'll see this. This is in place near Indore. Anyone from Indore? Oh, Indore. You might know this then. You know this? Yeah. Let me make it little fast. So this family got stuck. Okay. They wanted to play in water. Obviously, this is very unfortunate.
That's it.
It's obviously very unfortunate, but the point is, this is the nature of sense objects. Little bit we give chance to it, and we have seen, right, when we go to Facebook also, let's do for 2 minutes, let's check anything important, and then
Most of the people
gone.
don't even know that doing it is dragging them down because they don't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. That's why it is said that a true yogi, test of yogi is, he knows to control the senses according to his plan. He knows when to control the senses. That's extremely important. Otherwise, it will just take us away from Krishna. And that is why, if you see, today I was hearing one class, and actually I went to a devotee's home, Akshay, and he was telling his mentor, I mean, from whom he got into Krishna consciousness. He said, he was talking about that he is actually gold medalist in his college. And he was saying that 9 hours continuously he used to sit and read Srimad Bhagavatam. 9 hours. After 10 minutes only we'll say. Sometimes for some people opening the book is also like, weightlifting, 60 kg of, so difficult. See, we are now what age? Most of us will be like 25 above, right? But when we ask how many of you have read Bhagavad Gita, no, right? However, you have been hearing about Bhagavad Gita from childhood, right? Why? Because so tough to open the book. So much strength, right? So much strength is needed. That is the nature. Why? It's not about the book getting open, but we are so much engaged in sense objects. So much engaged in something or the other. And he told me 9 hours continuously he used to read. Param Drishtani Vartate. Right? He got the higher taste. See, 1 hour, 2 hour you can do that. Falgu, you can show off. 9 hours. That means some taste you got, right? Some taste you got that you are able to read for 9 hours about Krishna. Right? So, and then you don't get any inclination. Let's see some little bit Facebook, little bit Instagram. Sorry, Facebook, old people. Instagram, sorry. Instagram, right? One I was talking to one guy and I told him, I was just asking him in the class, so what do you think? How to control Facebook? He said, easy, just deactivate it. I have done it before. I said, amazing, man. And then later on he told, sorry, I should not have said. Now I watch Instagram. So he got Param Drishtva. Instagram. So Param Drishtva. Param means higher, right? Drishtva means experience. He got something higher experience, right? Param Drishtva Nivartate. And rasa, this rasa is important. Rasa varjam rasopyasya. Krishna is using the word rasa. Rasa means, there are many meanings of rasa. One of the meaning is mellows. It also means juice. Like in plain word, I would say juice. But there's a book called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. You saw I just now quoted a verse from there. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1 to 256. In that also word rasa is there. Rasa means mellows, or it also means relationship. There are different ways you can have rasa with Krishna. There are different ways. But there are 5 primary ways. Rasa means relationship, and there are 7 secondary. 5 primary are Shantaras, Dasyaras. Shantaras means in passive state. You can say more at the level of Brahman sort of. Then there's Dasyaras. Dasyaras is mostly in Vaikuntha. So when you see Krishna as Vishnu and you're just serving Jai Vijay, something like that. Vaikuntha, Dasyaras. Then above that is Sakhyaras, like Sudama. We discussed last time, no? Sudama. And above that is Vatsalyaras. And above that is Madhuryaras, the gopis. These are 5 primary ras. And then 7 secondary ras. In all 12. 7 secondary ras is Bhivatsa, anger, then shock, fear, horror, comedy. These are some of the 7 secondary rasas. Like for example, when Hiranyakashipu saw Narsimhadev, he was completely fearful. Who is this guy? Right? That was fear. Right? So like there are 7 secondary and 5 primary. So even that secondary rasas also, if it is coming to the highest peak, even then you can attain Krishna, but indirectly, like Shishupal. Like Shishupal was so much in anger, but still he attained Krishna. We see in Srimad Bhagavad. But that is not Anukulya. Anyways, I'm getting a little into advanced mode. Anukulya and Pratikulya there is. Anukulya is primary 5 rasas. Pratikulya is second. Anyways, we'll go ahead. Purport we didn't know. No? Let's do the purport of this one. Wait. I'll tell you from where to read. I want to discuss certain things. Yeah. So, okay, maybe you can read from start only. From second line, the process of restriction. Someone can read? Oh, did we read? We read the translation. Yeah. Who wants to read the purport? Process of restriction.
The process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations is something like restricting a deceased person from certain types of eatables. The patient, however, neither likes such restrictions nor loses his taste for eatables. Similarly, sense restriction by some spiritual process like Ashtanga Yoga.
1 minute. Ashtanga Yoga means 8. Right? Let's see. So there is one filling the blank. There are only 7 here. You have to tell me which is the 8th one. That is the reason I'm reading this purport.
Ashtanga Yoga in the matter of Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan.
What do you think? What is the last one? Samadhi. Okay. Go ahead.
Is recommended for less intelligent persons who have no better knowledge. But one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Lord Krishna in the course of advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste for dead material things. Therefore, restrictions are there for the less intelligent neophytes in the spiritual advancement of life, but such restrictions are only good until one actually has a taste for Krishna consciousness. When one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste for pale things.
Right? So, if you see in Krishna consciousness, we also do don'ts and do's. We discussed last time. Don'ts: no meditating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. Right? We also do these 4 things. Why? Because it's set at the neophyte stage. But when you get Param Drishtva, when you get higher taste, then you will not be. Anyways, if you are said don't do this or do this, you will not be affected by it. Right? Because now you have got the higher taste. Right? But the neophyte stage, we start with following the rules and regulations. Okay, 60 and 61 will go little fast. But one might say, no, but what is the harm? Like, senses, if I'm controlling, then it's good. No, at least I'll be in the middle. I'm controlling the senses. I don't want to take the higher taste. I'm in the middle. Na yahan ka, na wahan ka, na ghar ka, na ghat ka. Okay, I'm in the middle. So now Krishna will say, what is the situation of those people who are in the middle? They are saying that they are controlling the senses, right? Okay, you can repeat after me. Yatato yapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschita indriyani pramathini haranti prasavam mana. So this is saying the senses are so strong in impetus. Now Krishna is saying that it's not going to happen. It cannot be possible only. Why? Because senses are very strong. Even if you want to control the senses, you won't be able to control the senses. You need something higher, right? So, not watching Facebook will not be a solution. You need something higher. Right? You need something higher. Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Oh Arjuna, that they possibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. You try to control them, try to control them, but the senses are so strong that it will take you away. It will take you away. That's why for the section, how does he sit? Right? This entire section, it's not about how does he sit, it's about how is he situated when there are lower modes. How is he situated? Right? How is he situating his senses? That's why this entire section is about the third question. We see this, right? The senses are there. We discussed this during Gita in nutshell session. There are senses. This guy looks like a sport guy. He is buddhi, right? The driver. And the reins are the mind. And Atma looks like scared or maybe sitting nicely, depends on consciousness, right? So if the senses are being controlled by mind properly, and actually intelligence is situated perfectly, then he will be able to handle the mind, and mind will be able to handle the senses. Right? This also comes in Katha Upanishad. Someone can read the translation. This verse is coming from Srimad Bhagavatam, but this similar is also on Katha Upanishad also there. So I want to read the translation.
Which verse?
No, this one only. What you see on the screen. Is it? No?
We read the translation, right?
No, I will read.
No, this is something else. This is from Srimad
I
Bhagavatam.
will
Okay.
read.
Okay.
Transcendentalists who are advanced in knowledge compare the body, which is made by the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead, to a chariot. The senses are like horses. The mind, the master of senses, is like the reins. The object of senses are the destinations. Intelligence is the chariot driver, and the consciousness which spreads throughout the body is the cause of bondage in this material body.
Right. So what it says is the senses are extremely strong and forceful. In the purport, the example of Vishwamitra is mentioned. So what happened was, once Vishwamitra wanted to become Brahmarshi, because basically Vasishtha Muni once, so Vishwamitra was earlier a king. I forgot the name of the king, but anyways, Kaushik. King Kaushik. So he was a king, and once Vasishtha Muni, he came to his place. No, King Kaushik came to Vasishtha Muni's place, and he came with the entire army. So he said that Vasishtha Muni nicely, he welcomed him and said that I will cook for the entire army and for you also. And the prasadam was amazing. It was not just like five course meal or something. It was a lot more. So King Kaushik got bewildered. This one sadhu, Vasishtha Muni. So he will not have much money, right? Muni has no money. So he thought, how come he's able to feed so entire big army? So then after the entire feeding, King Kaushik said that how are you able to feed so much? You have a small hut and everything. Small hut, simple living, high thinking. So this guy, the Vasishtha Muni, showed his cow. I think his name was either Kamdhenu or Surabhi, either one of them. And it was like a kalpavriksha. If you ask for anything, he will give. So Vasishtha Muni said, because of this cow, as soon as you ask something, he will give. And I asked for entire army. Obviously, that time the sages were also mystic sages. So King Kaushik thought, hey, I want this. Right? I want this now. So King Kaushik said that I want this cow. You tell me how much money I will give you. How much ever cows you want, I give you. He said, your senses are not strong. You will misuse the cow, so I cannot give this cow. And this cow is like my mother. Right? So simple living. He was not living in a palace that I have a cow, let me have, right? He was just using it for bare minimum purpose. So then King Kaushik had a fierce, he brought his entire army and tried to snatch away the cow, but somehow, because cow was Kalpavriksha, Vasishtha Muni was able to defeat King Kaushik. So King Kaushik said that now I want to reach the same yogic situation what you are. So he was a Brahma Rishi. So Vishwamitra said, I also want to become Brahma Rishi. And Vasishtha Muni started doing a lot of meditation, trying to control his senses. But then what happened is, Indra sent Menka. Right? And Menka, he didn't even look at Menka. Just by tinkling of his bells, he got Visargina. Right? So that is the nature of senses. Senses are very, very strong. There is another story in Srimad Bhagavatam about Ajamil. Ajamil was a Pakka Brahmana. He was doing everything. But once he went to the jungle and he saw a prostitute embracing a very lower kind of person. And just seeing that embrace, Ajamil started thinking about that lady all the time. And in that, what he did is, he got so much engrossed that he said to her wife, you leave the palace now, I want to bring her. He kicked out all his sons. And then his life was completely ruined. Why? Again, because of senses are so strong. Right? Senses are so strong. Now you might think, okay, what if I completely control my sense also? So Saubhari Muni, he controlled his breathing also. This is also in Srimad Bhagavatam. He controlled his breathing by going into the water, underwater. Underwater you can't even breathe. So definitely you can control the senses, right? So now you can control the sense object also. But then what happens is, he sees two fishes, he fish and she fish, kissing each other, embracing. I don't know embracing, but kissing each other. Just seeing that, he decided he want to get married. Imagine two mosquitoes if you see, will you? But he just saw. That's the nature of sense objects. Senses are so strong. And then he got married, and he had thousands of sons, and then he realized in marriage. So then he realized that what I did, I was situated such nicely in meditation, and then he took Krishna consciousness. Srimad Bhagavatam explains that story. So basically, the point is, that's what the story of Vishwamitra is mentioned in this. The senses are very, very strong. We can't control the senses. The only way to control the senses is to get something higher. Otherwise, it's not possible. Right? Okay. 61. Wants to read. We'll skip the purport because I want to complete 62 and 63. We'll skip the purport, this one. But it talks about, I've already told you what it talks about. It talks about the Vishwamitra Muni. And at the end, if you see last line, can you see the last line of that purport? Savai Mana Krishna Padarvindayo. Padarvinda means lotus feet. Pada means feet. Aravinda means lotus. Whose Padarvinda? Krishna's. Mana means mind. Savai Mana Krishna Padarvindayo Dayor Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanu. Then you can reach Vaikunta. Okay, 61st. This also will go fast. And then 62, 63. Very, very important verses. Okay. Tani Sarvani Samyamya. I'll just go ahead. Okay. Tani Sarvani Samyamya. Yukta Asita Matparaha. Vashehi Yasi Indriyani. Tasya Pragya Pratishtita. So whatever we have discussed in 58, 59, 60, Krishna is going to summarize in 61. Nice, no? While class only is summarizing of science. So 61 Krishna will say now. Someone wants to read?
One who restrains his senses.
We discussed this. Right? One who restrains his senses. Next.
One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence.
So now Krishna is saying they have to do two things. Not just the don'ts, but also do's. Don'ts are restricting your senses, but do's are making your consciousness upon me. Okay, we can read this purport. Okay, let's read this one. Second last paragraph of this purport. This is about King Parikshit. I'll give some backdrop about King Parikshit. This comes from Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, 4th chapter, verse number 18 to 20. So, once King Amrish, he was doing Ekadashi Vrat, and next day he was supposed to break his fast, but that time Durvasa Muni came, and he came at the same time when the time of breaking the fast was. And Amrish Maharaj was a great Vaishnava. He was a king. To the question, he was a king. At the same time, he was completely focused on Krishna. So he was doing that kingship as a duty to Krishna. So next day when he was breaking his fast, that time Durvasa Muni came. Now when a Muni comes, you have to first serve and then only you can eat. You can't eat along with them or eat before them. But it was the time of breaking the fast also. So he asked his board of directors, what should I do in such situation, advisors. So they said, drink little bit water, because water means neither fasting nor not breaking the fast, not keeping. So you should be good then. So he did like that. He drank little bit water, not just to break, but little bit only he drank to just honor that fast. So then Durvasa Muni was a mystic yogi, and you all know, right? Durvasa Muni little bit short-tempered, little bit. So he came to know how come he is supposed to serve me and he is serving his senses, right? So he got extremely angry and he cursed him by creating a very big demon. And but Amrish Maharaj was completely equipoised. He was not at all afraid or happy in this situation. He was just whatever Krishna's desire is. But then what happened is, when the demon was about to attack Amrish Maharaj, Lord Vishnu, he became so angry on Durvasa Muni's reaction that he threw his Sudarshan Chakra on Durvasa Muni. And then Durvasa Muni was running here and there, everywhere he ran, so that he can be protected. And then he reached to Lord Vishnu also. Lord Vishnu said, I can't do anything. Imagine, Lord Vishnu is saying he is the most powerful. When you talk about 6 points of opulence, all strength, right? He's saying, I can't do anything because I reside in the heart of the devotee. You have to take shelter of Amrish Maharaj. Right? So then he goes to Amrish Maharaj and then he takes shelter of Amrish Maharaj. He asks for forgiveness. And immediately, then Shuddha Chakra goes back to Lord Vishnu. Right? So then the qualities of Amrish Maharaj. What was so special about Amrish Maharaj? That, imagine, Lord Vishnu himself came to protect him. This verse talks about that. So this is a verse, but we will directly go to the first part of the verse. Savayamana Krishna Padara Vindeyo Vachamsi Vaikunta Guna Anuvarnane Karav Hare Mandiramarjana Dishav Shrutim Chakashuta Sat Kathodaya. This verse is very important. I just wanted to read that. Someone can read the translation. It's in the next paragraph. Everybody there? Very important. Yeah, so, okay. Someone wants to volunteer?
King Ambarish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, engaged his words in describing the abode of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord, his body in touching the body of the devotee, his nostrils in smelling the fragrance of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaves offered to him, his legs in traveling to the holy place where his temple is situated, his head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. And all these qualifications made him fit to become a Matpara devotee of the Lord.
Right. Simple, right? It is not so difficult. Simple. So it said that Krishna consciousness is simple for simple people. Right? One who is too much complicated, difficult. Right? Simple. So Krishna, such nice things, right? Fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, engaged in words describing the abode of Lord, his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord, right? And just by that he became Matpara. Right? But he was using all his senses, because even one sense can take you away. Right? There's a story, I think it happened where I don't know, but out there was a dam, big dam was built, and suddenly the entire city was in flood. Entire city, the entire water came out, entire city was in flood. And then they were wondering how can this dam, which was lasting for so long, suddenly flood came and entire city was drowned. So then after they did some CID, they brought CID, pata laga, I mean, they called and they asked that what was the problem. Then they came to know that there was one mouse who slowly was eating that dam, and small hole, and then the entire, because the water was so strong, slowly then that hole which was created, this hole slowly became bigger because of the force of the water, and then entire city was destroyed. Right? So one sense also, one small hole also giving to Maya, this material world, can just take us away. Right? Take us away. So strong. Senses are so strong. So that's why all the senses that we have should try to engage in Krishna's service. That's what Krishna is saying here. Everything we should use in Krishna's service. Okay. Now all this we discussed. Now Arjuna is thinking, you're telling senses are bad, senses are bad. What is the problem? What exactly how this happens? I mean, how this senses, just through these senses, giving chance to sense objects, how the jiva gets into more entangled into material world. Exactly how that entire, show me that entire diagram, how this happens. So now Krishna will explain 62 and 63, one of the most important verses. It starts from only thinking about a sense object to a complete bewilderment of the personality. Just these two verses this is basically the main topic of today. We have 15 minutes. Okay, race against time. We'll start. Okay, you can repeat after me and you can try to remember this also. So 59, 62, 63. Very important verses. Okay. So if someone asks you what happens if you try to focus too much on a sense object or you get engaged in senses, these two are the verses. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsan Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kaman Kamat Krodho Bijayate. We'll read the second one also because both are connected actually. Krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vimbrama smriti bhramshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. Buddhi means no, buddhi means buddhu, right? So buddhi nashat, buddhi is destroyed, pranashyati means fall down, right? So buddhi nashat pranashyati. So there's the last point. Last point is the intelligence also gone. Madman. So what will happen to fall down? So from just thinking about the sense object to a complete fall down. Imagine the entire procedure is given in this in Bhagavad Gita. That's why Bhagavad Gita is so important. But we don't read it, so we feel it very complex. Okay, someone can read the translation, but read both the translation together. You will understand why I am saying. But read both the translation together. Who wants to read? You want to read? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material field.
Right? Got it. So it all starts from simple contemplating, right? Like for example, I want that Benz car, let's say, right? Benz car I want. Then so you're contemplating on the object of the senses, sense object, Benz car, right? That Benz car I want. Then slowly that just contemplating that leads to attachment. I want that Benz car. Somehow I want that Benz car, right? So attachment increased. Then from the attachment, lust develops. Now it has gone to the higher level where you want anything, I will do anything and everything. Yena tena. In English, in Sanskrit, we say yena tena prakarena mana Krishna vishya. But yena tena prakarena, I want that Benz. That I want that lust increases so much. Lust doesn't just mean opposite attraction. Lust also means any sense object which has gone to the highest level of attachment. Lust develops. So now lust, when you have highest, now you're trying to achieve it. So two things can happen, right? How we in office, दो thing होंगे, right? So two things can happen. Either you get it or you don't get it, right? So even if you get it, but after some time it will be lost. Like let's say total हो गई गाड़ी. I mean the car get totaled, right? So you got it, but then you lost it, or you didn't get any time from the first moment. In both the case, what will happen? Right? You will become angry. Right? You will become angry. So from lust, anger arises. Right? Like Ravana, when he got very angry when Sita Mata he couldn't get, so he got so angry that he tried to kidnap. So what happened is after that, from anger, delusion arises. You are completely in an illusion. You feel that she is mine only. I want that. Like that Benz Gadi is mine only. Somehow I want to get it. Right? And then from delusion, bewilderment of memory. Now you are so mad behind it. You are earning something you want to do. Like you can go to any extent, but you want that. And then memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And that's when Ravana completely his intelligence was, he went to any extent now, and then what he did is he kidnapped Mother Sita.
Usually, this whole process goes too fast. We don't realize.
Yeah, we don't
all of
realize.
that
I
is
mean,
happening.
it took me 2 minutes, that time it can even seconds.
Yeah.
Right? Down again into the material pool. So if you see, this is the diagram. By contemplating the object of senses positively or negatively, right? One develops attachment for them, right? From attachment, lust develops. From lust, anger arises. From anger, delusion arises. From delusion, bewilderment of memory. From memory, bewilderment of memory, loss of intelligence. Buddhu, one becomes Buddhu. And then one falls down into the gross material existence. Completely unfelt. So this is the reason why we need to be very, very careful from the sense object. Right? We don't know, like for example, simple thing also. Let's say we have a dream company, right? We want that dream company. I want to be in that dream company. We don't know how that desire will be fulfilled. Maybe in the next life you are watchman of that company. You wanted to be in that company, you got that company, right? That's why we have to be very, very careful what we are asking for, because it can come in any shape or form, and it will also let you completely down. There is a story. I don't know whether I told this story. Did I tell you about 99 Club? I never told this story. So once there was a what is the time? Based on that, I'll tell you this story. Okay, 8:20. I'll take 2 minutes, then we will stop. I want you to read this purport also, but anyways, I'll tell that story first. So once there was a king. He was going through the city, village, wanted to see if his citizens are happy or not. How are they, good or not? So like this, he reached a place home, and there he saw that the husband, wife, kids, they were all happy, no problem. So this king was bewildered. How come? Okay, maybe in the evening they are shan, in the morning something. 3-4 days, nothing, no problem. So no problem, they were happy. So this king got completely confused. That what happened? Why is they are not crying? Why are they happy? So the advisor of the king said that because they are not part of 99 Club. So they said, in 99 kya hai? In 99, so what is this 99? So they said, okay, I'll show you. So he kept 99 gold coins in front of the door of that villager. So that villager, one day he opened the door. I mean, after some time he opened the door and he saw that a bag full of gold coins. So this, yeah, okay, sit. So saw the bag of gold coins, 99 gold coins. So as soon as he saw the bag of gold coins, he immediately started counting. He said, Bhagwan, you also come, we'll count together. So he started counting. It was exactly 99. So 99? Who gives 99? I mean, like 99 not out sounds so bad, no? He said, who gives 99? So then he said, I will do anything and everything. I want that one extra gold coin now. So now that life which was Shant, they were all happy. Now he was working hard just to get that one gold coin. But by that trying to get that one gold coin, he was also wasting money to get that one gold coin. Then every time he was trying, and then because of that extra endeavor, there used to always something or the other happening in the house. And then the king came after 1 week and said there was a lot of shouting and a lot of fighting happening. So then this king asked the advisor, now why they are shouting? Because then he said, now they are part of 99 Club. So we are like this, part of 99 Club. When that million will happen, when the 2 million will happen, when the 3 million will happen, that we are running somewhere, and then we'll well in time. Someday we'll fall. Right? That's what is said. Fall. Right? So we can read the purport. We'll skip the 60-second. 60-second talks about a devotee. We'll discuss that. We'll read the 63rd. Then we'll talk about what that purport talks about. 60-second. Someone wants to read the purport of 63. We'll stop here.
By development of Krishna consciousness, one can know that everything has its use in the service of the Lord. Those who are without knowledge of Krishna consciousness artificially try to avoid material objects, and as a result, although they desire liberation from the material bondage, they do not attain to the perfect stage of renunciation. Their so-called renunciation is called falgu, or less
1 minute.
important.
Sorry, Buchi. You remember last time? I don't know. Last time or last time. I was telling you about the story of a person. He met a brahmachari in the train and he saw a laptop. Right. So this is an example. He was thinking that vairagya means falgu vairagya, giving up everything. But here Krishna ahead will say there is not just falgu, there is something else, yukta vairagya, using everything for Krishna. Okay, Buchi, go ahead. Sorry.
On the other hand, a person in Krishna consciousness knows how to use everything in the service of Lord. Therefore, he does not become a victim of material consciousness. For example, for an impersonalist, the Lord or the Absolute, being impersonal, cannot eat. Whereas an impersonalist tries to avoid good eatables, a devotee knows that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and he eats all that is offered to him in devotion. So, after offering good eatables to the Lord, the devotee takes the remnants called prasadam. Thus, everything becomes spiritualized and there is no danger of a downfall. The devotee takes prasadam in Krishna consciousness, whereas the non-devotee rejects it as material. The impersonalist therefore cannot enjoy life due to his artificial renunciation, and for this reason, a slight agitation of the mind pulls him down again into the pool of material existence. It is said that such a soul, even though rising up to the point of liberation, falls down again due to his not having support in devotional service.
Right. So that's why we have to. We can eat everything, but we have to. Everything means obviously sattvic food, but we have to offer it to Krishna. Krishna will say in future verses, at one section he will say that when you don't eat something which is offered in sacrifice, then that is a sin. You're basically eating a sin. So plants also, you are killing plants at the end, right? But that if you're offering it to Krishna, then it becomes spiritualized. That's what is mentioned. It becomes spiritualized. So this is basically the crux of Krishna consciousness, using everything for Krishna's service. There is a devotee, his name is Henry Ford. I mean, now his name is Ambrish. But previously his name was Henry Ford. Henry Ford 3.
Ford is the
Yeah, Henry Ford is the actual one, but in his descendant, what was his name? Grandson,
I
yeah.
don't remember his
Ford was there.
before name, yeah, but he's great
Yeah,
grandson.
great grandson. So a lot of millions of money, right? But he is using everything for Krishna service. Now that entire Mayapur temple that you see, I mean, in West Bengal that is getting built, OVP, actually his project. Chandraba told him that if you can build something, so using in Krishna service, everything. So that's the point, that we have to use everything for Krishna service and not become a Falgu Vairagya. Falgu Vairagya means giving up everything. Like that relative of mine who thought that why is he using a laptop. Right? So, and 62nd verse is very important purport. It explains there a story of Haridas Thakur. So what was happening was Haridas Thakur was a Muslim, but he was actually Brahmaji who came as Haridas Thakur. Now there is a long story why he became Haridas Thakur and took as a birth as a Muslim, but he had full taste in Krishna consciousness. He was known as Namacharya. Namacharya means one who has attained perfection just by chanting holy names. Every day he used to chant 4 lakh names of Krishna, which takes around 192 rounds. 60 rounds take 2 hours. So you can guess how much 192 rounds. So almost full time he was chanting only. So much taste he had. But what was happening was the Muslims were angry on him, and Hindus also. So Muslims because Muslim and doing this, and Hindus because they were thinking that they are only Brahmanas should do it, right? So what they did is they sent some kind of a girl prostitute to him so that he can get cured, and then they can show to the entire world, see, he's a false false person. So when this lady came, and she was Maya Devi, Maya, but she was actually Maya, who came in the form of girl to lure Haridas Thakur. But Haridas Thakur, what he did is, because he had higher taste, he said that I don't have time. You come in the evening. My still rounds are remaining. You come in the evening. So like this. She was coming in the evening. Then evening he said, oh, my rounds are still not done. You come in the next morning. And then this was happening for 3 days. But just by coming and associating with Haridas Thakur, she herself became a pure devotee. Then she shaved up, and then she spent her entire life just serving Mother Tulsi Maharani. Right? So what this explains is, Haridas Thakur, because he got the higher taste, he was able to give up the sense object. Right? Higher taste. That is important. Otherwise, our situation will be like Vishwamitra, trying to restrain our senses, but it's difficult. It is difficult. We need to have some higher taste, and that's why you see, when you get taste in reading, you get taste in chanting, you get taste in serving, then you don't get so attracted to outside world. Oh, they are going for movie, I also want to see movie. Which movie has come up? You will not even know which movie has come up, because now your entire senses are so engaged nicely in Krishna service, and you are just blissful. You see, that's why so many people, sometimes you see on the road, they might not have money and they are still dancing, and the people who have money, they are wondering, my situation, I have the money, but I'm still so sorrow, and these guys are dancing on the streets. They got the higher taste. Okay, so we will now do a little bit of chanting, and then we will have prasadam. Actually, while I was saying this, I reminded of another story. Should I say?
Yes.
Then we will. Oh, 8:30. Okay, I'll be short, quick. So Ajamil, I spoke about the Ajamil pastime, right? So Ajamil, at the end of his life, what he did, one good thing was, he named his son as Narayan. Ajamil named his son as Narayan. So as soon as he named his son, when he was about to leave the world, so he called his son Narayan. So immediately Krishna said, Lord Vishnu said, oh, he called out my name. And then he sent his Vishnu Dutas. You go and get Ajamil. And then Vishnu Dutta said, no, this guy, he actually called his son's name, not your name. So then Vishnu says, Mriyamano Hare Nama Grinan Putro Pacharitam Ajamilopya Gadama Kimuta Shraddaya Grinan. It says, Mriyamano Hare Nama. Ajamil called out Hare Nama, but he called it indirectly. Ajamilopya Gadama Kimuta Shraddaya Grinan. He actually called out his son's name. Indirectly he called out. So he said, just calling indirectly also his son's name, Vishnu's name, still he got the highest abode. Then there is a doubt that this holy name will not work. Why? Because Krishna takes interest in you. So even if you indirectly also, obviously we should not emulate or imitate Ajamil. The point is, Krishna is always interested in us. Whether we want to take up Krishna consciousness, up to us. Like for example, the devotee was telling this example. It was very nice. When let's say a boy is interested in a girl, and when girl is saying hi like this, and behind that boy, actually girl's friend is there. So boy will think, oh, he said to me. Why? Because the boy is interested in that girl. Did you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So similarly, the devotee was mentioning that Krishna is interested in every jiva. So jiva, even if indirectly also somehow he calls out my name, I say, oh, he called out my name. Right. So like that is the power of the holy name of the Lord. That's why in Kali Yuga, it is said the highest form of sacrifice is actually chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Kevalam. Kalau Nastiva, 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 Datiranyata. In this Kali Yuga, holy names of the Lord, holy names of the Lord, holy names of the Lord. Nothing else will go. Okay, we will chant. We'll chant one bead.